and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm getting into handbags I regret not buying. I'm sure we all have the one that got away, like the one we just couldn't get our hands on or whatever it may be. I definitely have a list of bags that I wish I could have bought. So I try not to get like sucked into that chase of like specific bags, but there are a few that I just really wish I had in my collection. By the way, if you're new here, hi, my name is Morgan. I make videos about luxury handbags, fashion, and lifestyle. So if that's your thing, please subscribe and turn on notifications. And let's get into the bags that I wish I had bought. First bag on my list is a Chanel bag, and full disclosure, most of the bags on this list are Chanel bags. It's the brand I love the most, and also a brand that's very difficult to get certain bags, and unfortunately I tend to love the ones that are more like limited colors or limited editions that are more difficult to come by, and Chanel is getting harder and harder to get now. A lot of the time I can't be bothered to chase after them, but there are a few that I wish I put in a little more effort. The first bag on my list is the Croc embossed gold wallet and chain or mini. I would have taken either one. I just waited too long to decide on this bag. I've always wanted like a gold Chanel, something that I can wear in the evening, so I definitely would have wanted a smaller size, not like the medium or anything like that. The time that this bag came out was like right after a price increase, and I was like, oh, who's gonna pay that for a wallet and a chain or a mini? The mini was getting, I think it was either $3,500 or $3,750. It was like in that like mid to upper 3 range. It wasn't quite at 4 yet, and I was like, oh, that's so close to 4,000. Who's gonna pay 4,000 for a mini? And lo and behold, now the mini is well over 4,000, and I wish I would have bought that bag because both of those styles in the Croc embossed gold go for more than they were originally, and now I just can't bring myself to pay the premium for these bags. The next bag on my list, also a Chanel, is a white caviar with 24 karat gold hardware, so pre-2008, either Diana or like a classic flap or something that is in that medium size range, but like a daily use white caviar bag with 24 karat gold hardware. I've been looking for a couple years now at a white Chanel, and I definitely want caviar, and I definitely want the 24 karat gold hardware because I love that bright gold against the white color bag. But it is so difficult to find one that hasn't been re-dyed, that doesn't have color transfer, doesn't have discoloration. Now it goes well above the retail of a classic flap that it's like, ugh, it's not worth it. Because you guys know I wouldn't even pay classic flap prices in store today because the bag is just not functional enough for me. And especially in the white, it's going to be an occasional use bag. But I would love to have one day. Maybe I can find like a vintage style that's like not like those two most desired styles, because sometimes if you get like a seasonal vintage style, maybe in white, it can go for a little bit less. I'm even having a hard time bringing myself to pay like even around 4,000 for a white Chanel, because it's just going to be so occasional use that I don't know if I'll ever add this bag to my collection, but it's something that every time I see it, I'm like, wow, I just love those vintage white caviar bags. So the third bag on my list, I thought we'd mix it up a bit, and I do have one on this list from Fendi of all the brands. I don't have a lot of Fendi in my collection, but there is one that, you know, I don't think the bag is worth it at this price, but this limited edition is fire. Put the detailed name on the screen here. I don't remember exactly what the bag was called, but it was a collaboration bag with an artist, and it had like an ombre. It is so cool. Like, this is like me in a baguette. I do generally prefer the vintage baguettes because I just like the more like fabric styles, and the leather ones I think are quite pricey, but I have been looking for this on the pre-loved market, and this colorway, like, I haven't seen it yet, and it's irritating me, and I'm just waiting to see what price it comes up as, because if it comes up at even a decent price around retail, I probably would go for this bag. Fendi is honestly one of those that a lot of their bags don't hold value, and I usually buy pre-loved. So I didn't even think to shop this in store because I thought the new prices of the Fendi baguette were too high for what I wanted to pay for Fendi, and the vintage ones are so much cheaper. I got mine for like just over $200, which at today's prices sounds like it would be, you know, not a real bag, but it was just before the baguette relaunched, and just before that collection with the brown monogram FF logo came back in. So I got it at the right time, because if I bought that same bag today on the pre-love market, the going rate is between like $800 and $1,200. So I'm having a really hard time stomaching paying like more than 10 times the price of what I paid for my other Fendi baguette. So maybe I'll add this bag one day if I ever see it, but it really depends on the price. The fourth bag on my list is one that I kick myself over constantly, and it is the Chanel Mini in Caviar in the turquoise. Now, I have looked into getting this, and I should have done it in the past like 3 years. I found one around $4,500, like maybe 2 years ago, I think it was. And I was like, no, that's too much, because at the time the price of the mini was like around $3,500, or maybe it was like a little bit less than that. So I was like, I'm not paying, you know, over $1,000 above retail for this bag. And now these stupid Caviar minis go for like $5,500, $6,000, and I'm definitely not paying that for a mini. So I'm kicking myself that I did not pay the $4,500 and get this stupid mini in my collection, because I want a Caviar mini so bad, and this teal color is my like dream color for this mini. The fifth bag on my list is the Rainbow Chanel Boy bag. They've had 2 launches of this, and there's one with like a green plate and one where it was like more pastel-y. I kind of prefer the more pastel one. The time that the first one came out, that was like not in my budget. It was just kind of like a, oh, that's so beautiful, maybe one day kind of a bag. And when the next collection came out, I was at the point where I could have bought the bag, but I was like, oh, that's still like a lot for a bag, and I don't know how much I'll use the boy. I don't think I should go for it. I asked around at a couple stores and places were sold out, so I was like, I'm not chasing this. I'm not getting a personal shopper. I wish I had chased it down. I did find one, and I really kicked myself for this. There's one that I found that was for $3,000 on the pre-love market, and it had like a big red pin mark inside the bag. The outside was perfect. Now I see them go for like $5,000, $6,000 on the pre-love market, especially with how prices of Chanel have gone up. I wish I would have bought that bag. I thought about it for like a day, and I went back to like actually buy the bag on the site, and it was already snapped up. I would have rather paid towards that price for a boy. I just don't think that for how much I would use a boy, I could ever pay like $5,000. I do really regret not buying that damaged one, and I regret not getting my hands on that bag when I should have, because now the prices are just too high. The last bag on my list might surprise you, and kind of surprised me too, because when this bag came out, I didn't really think of it so much, like that I really wanted it, so that's why I didn't even like go looking for it. But it's actually a coco handle in a pale yellow. So I saw it first actually on Sophie, who's another luxury YouTuber. I'll link her channel below. And I always thought, oh, that's a beautiful bag. You know, I love the shape. I have mine in pink and black. I was like, I love that color for her, until I got my picotin in the pale yellow. And I realized how well that color goes with so many things in my wardrobe. I'm kind of obsessed with pale yellow, and I wish I had the coco handle in the pale yellow. She has the smaller size of it. I don't know if hers is a mini or a small, I don't remember. But I don't know if they made it in medium, but if they did, I would love to get a medium in the pale yellow, because that would be like a different function to my pale yellow Hermes. If I got the smaller size, I would probably use it in similar situations as my picotin. So if I ever came across that at a pretty decent price, I would probably go for the medium in the pale yellow. But I honestly, since I realized how much I like pale yellow, I've been looking for it, and I haven't seen it pre-loved. So maybe this is one that's harder to come by. I don't really know, but I think it's such a beautiful shade. So I do regret missing out on that color from Chanel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was one that you guys requested on my stories. Every now and then I ask you what you would like to see on my channel, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I love having your input over there, because I want to make this content for you. This channel is for you guys, and to give you guys as much good advice as I can. So if there's anything you'd like to see, you can always leave it in the comments below, or DM me on Instagram, and participate in those stories when I ask you guys questions of what you want to see. It's not how I come up with all of my content, but I do take what you're asking into consideration, and especially if several people have asked for a same type of video, I like to include it on my channel, because I want to make these videos for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!